This game preview is brought to you by Manscaped's Premium Ultra Soft Boxer Briefs 2.0, complete with the all-new jewel pouch to protect your stones. Use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Manscaped, the perfect tools to protect your jewels.
We kick things off with a division rival, a heated division rival between the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bengals have won 3 straight games against the Steelers for the first time since 1988. When they won 6 straight. Maybe they can continue this week. Last year, it was a very good year for the Bengals in terms of rushing against the Steelers. Joe Mixon averaged 127 yards per game in those 2 games against the Steelers last year. Aaron, what do you think about do the Steelers defensive line and the linebacking group get better enough this offseason to say, okay, we're not going to allow Joe Mixon to run all over us this year?
They better. I mean, that they not only Joe Mixon, they were the worst in the league in rush yards per game. Like, they were the worst run defense in the NFL. And that is not the Steeler way. That is not a Mike Tomlin defense. We have been known for the centuries of the years of Pittsburgh Steelers football to be physical, to be tough, and to stop the run and run the football. And I think we went away from that this past season, and I think they have to get back. It does help when you get guys like Devin Bush, now a year removed from that injury, back in the fold. So I think they get better, but there has to be significant improvement. It's not just to improve. They were 32nd, which means they were last. They have to be significantly better, especially with an offense that we're unsure about them at the quarterback position. So I do think they're better. I don't think they finished last this year. I think Mike Tomlin has too much pride. I think that team has too much talent on the defensive side of the football to finish last again. But Cincinnati has an amazing offense. Now they go get an additional offensive line help. Joe Mixon's a really good running back. They have weapons on the outside. It's going to be tough to stop that offense, whether it's in the passing game, the running game, or wherever. So I think they still struggle in this one. But I think over the course of the season, Pittsburgh should be better in the long run. Joe Mixon should still have a good day.
You brought up all the changes that went on in Cincinnati. Obviously, improving that offensive line was quite possibly the biggest offseason move for any team as a whole, improving that and protecting Joe Burrow. But there's been a lot of changes, I feel like, on both sides of the ball, whether it's the Bengals and the Steelers. What will be the most notable difference, though, we see from these two teams on the field?
Oh, I think it has to be the offensive line play of the Cincinnati Bengals. When you have Joe Burrow back there, who coming off a torn ACL a few years ago, your job is to protect your franchise quarterback. And they went out and did exactly what Kansas City did the year before, which was go address that offensive line, making that the number one priority of that team. And at the end of the day, we said this a number of times. Football is won in the trenches. And I know I harp on this a lot. You can have all the weapons you want on the outside. If you cannot block and you cannot stop the run, you will not be successful in this league. Look at what happened in the Super Bowl when the Rams pass rush got going in the second half. The Rams ended up winning the game. Cincinnati had some games where they were giving up 9, 10 sacks and still winning, finding ways to win games. But ultimately, that comes back to bite you in the ass. And I think it did in that Super Bowl, especially in that second half. They made a priority of that offensive line. I think this is the number one factor, even more so than this guy right here in the defensive back play. That defensive line, that offensive line has to be stout in order for a team to go and win a Super Bowl. And it doesn't have to be consistently stout throughout the year. But when it matters most, for a team like Cincinnati that's probably going to be in the playoff hunt, probably going to be fighting for a division, when it matters most, you better get quality play from that offense and defensive line.
Now the Steelers are starting a new quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. They went with the veteran instead of going with Kenny Pickett. I'm dropping it for you. What do you think the Mitch Trubisky stat line looks like in week 1?
Mitch will go like 18 of 25, 18 of 26 for 214 yards. And I'll say he gets 2 touchdowns and throws a pick, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And he'll run for like another 20 or 30 on the ground. Like he's mobile. He won't play bad, but he won't be stellar, I don't think. I think Cincinnati's defense is too good.
I do as well. That's why I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals here, 28-17 over the Steelers in week 1. What about you?
I am taking I'm taking the Bengals as well. I know you Bengals fans think I don't like it because of Eli Apple and all that stuff, but I'm taking the Bengals as well, and I think the Bengals win 28-17.
I am scrolling to see AJ and Dylan's picks.
AJ sent an image, so you should be able to find
Dylan has the Bengals over the Steelers, and AJ has the Bengals over the Steelers 24-21.